Thank you very much. Thank you, Nona, for your very nice introduction. You know, I saw Nona last Wednesday night, and she said, ako magpapa, ako magpapakilala sa iyo sa Saturday. Magugustuhan mo yung introduction ko. Thank you very much, Nona. I did like it very much. I would like to greet, of course, our very important officials of the inner wheel of the Philippines. Special congratulations to my comadre, Baby Goles, who has been responsible for making me guest speaker of inner wheel 3 times. The first time was when I was a senator, and she was club president, so I was her speaker. And then the second time, I was president of the Philippines, and she was the convention chair, so she made me the guest of honor. And now this is the 3rd time. So thank you, Comadre Baby, for all those invitations. And of course, I would like to greet the wife of my former cabinet member, Edna Ibrado, our recently retired president of the Inner Wheel, because she was president up to yesterday. Akala ko up to today, pero up to yesterday pala. So hindi na pala outgoing. She's already past president, immediate past president. And to the chair of this induction, Teresita David, congratulations also to you. And to all the officers, especially those who chose your theme, Leave a Lasting Legacy, for this year. That is a beautiful theme for the year, and I hope and I know you will leave a lasting legacy for our people. My old friends here at the Inner Wheel are very busy as usual, as I can see, making sure that this event will proceed without a hitch. I was monitoring the events, and I saw 9 o'clock processional, and then I saw that, anyway, I wasn't part of the processional, so okay, I will come in during the snacks. So I was monitoring. 9 o'clock processional. At 9:01, Menchi, my protocol officer, told me they are now doing the processional. So they're going to have their snacks at 9:30. At 9:15, there was the national anthem. Wow, I said, they're really on time. Everything's on time. And sure enough, 9:30 when I arrived, you were having your snacks. Congratulations for being such an efficient club. I can see that the Inner Wheel ladies don't want to leave anything to chance. And I'm sure that you don't want to leave anything to chance, especially in upholding the Inner Wheel creed, selflessness in friendship and service to humanity. Inner Wheel really is an excellent way to nurture long friendships, at the same time giving meaningful service. I recall when I was guest of honor in 2004, I noticed how close the organization's members were and how close the organizations were to one another. At that time in my speech, I said, I'm a Rotarian. So I am quite familiar with many of the Inner Wheel members and officers, and I was aware of your programs over the decades. You had programs for peace, for the alleviation of hunger, for literacy, for the youth, of course on top of your mainstream of women empowerment. At that time I said, civic clubs share government's goals of growth and development. Therefore, you should be government's regular partners. And I did make Inner Wheel my regular partner. I especially admired how Inner Wheel supplemented government's efforts, and you still do, for the marginalized and for victims of calamities, like the Tubig sa Barrio, Operations Paglingap, and Operation Karunungan. Those are outstanding programs that leave a lasting legacy. Congratulations for that. I'm particularly glad about the continuing projects under Operations Paglingap, especially when they comfort the needy and help broker peace. In my time when I was President of the Philippines, the Inner Wheel District 381 that was chaired by Baby Goles then partnered with the Department of Health to raise funds and give medicines to the armed provinces. At that time, her son, my godson, Anthony Goles, was Undersecretary of Health. So, baby, even if it's 13 years later, let me take the opportunity to thank Inner Wheel once again for that support for our peace process. Well, as Nona said, I was in hospital arrest for a long time. And during the time that I was in hospital arrest, I was monitoring what happened to things like Yolanda. And there in Yolanda, Operations Paglingap, again, was in the picture, deserving even more thanks for being part of the forefront. I learned that you raised 9 million pesos to build homes, to build schools, to build a multi-purpose hall, and even to purchase boats for the calamity victims. That was really a good, outstanding job for the victims of Yolanda. Thank you for that. Today, our nation is focused on another calamity. But this time, it's not a natural calamity. It's a man-made calamity. The calamity of the evacuees from the war in Marawi. I see here we have some ladies from Marawi. You are members of the Muntinlupa. One of the Muntinlupa Inner Wheel, and I pay my tribute to you. I understand there's also an Inner Wheel Club in Iligan. Iligan was, I don't know if we have a representative from Iligan here. Iligan was the scene of my childhood, and I had many beautiful memories of Iligan. When I was a child, living in Iligan in my grandmother's farm, it was a very pluralistic and diverse society. Many farm owners, coconut farm owners like my grandmother, were from northern Luzon. My lola was Pangasinan, but my grandfather had bought his retirement farm there. My playmates in the farm were Visayan. The gentleman who bought our copra was Chinese. Our sukis in the market were Muslim. And not only were we friends with all those Muslims in the market and also all over Iligan, we even used to go to Marawi once in a while. My lola, my cousins and I, because it was less than an hour's drive away, simply because we used to enjoy it so much, being there. We used to call it dansalan at that time. And I was so used to the cultural diversity that in my child's eyes, men and women, boys and girls of all faiths were the same. But by the time I became president, I inherited a battlefield in Mindanao. The rebellion had gained ground, led by the MILF in 1972. And when there was a peace agreement in 1996, the MILF continued the rebellion. And when I became president, it got all complicated because of the ascendance of international terrorism and religious warfare after 9/11. Now we see on television the damage the war in Marawi has wrought on the city. We see the emaciated, shocked faces of the displaced residents. We have heard how many innocent lives had been claimed by this war. So I know that Inner Wheel is very conscious and concerned about what's happening there. You have your Iligan City Club. You have members from Marawi. I understand that the Marawi members have already requested assistance from international Inner Wheel as well as the Philippine Inner Wheel districts. I also understand that Inner Wheel has already sent over 50,000 worth of assistance to the refugees apart from the help given by the individual inner wheel districts. So I commend you again for acting fast again in the name of Operations Paglingap. It will take a long time to rebuild the beautiful city of Marawi. And the people of Marawi need the help of the whole country as they try to pick up the pieces of their broken lives. And I know, I can see how the members of the inner wheel are touched by the plight of the 200,000 or so Marawi residents. The war in Marawi carries with it the issue of the declaration of martial law in Mindanao. And I'd like to use this opportunity to stand foursquare behind President Duterte's declaration of martial law in Mindanao. I've been president. I was president when I was in the inner wheel the last time. And being a president, Mrs. Ibrado's husband knows that because he was my national security advisor. Being president, you have information that others do not have. They help you make a decision, but you cannot share all the information with others. So therefore, it is important that we just trust the president because he knows what we don't know and he knows what he's doing. So let us all support the martial law of President Duterte in Mindanao. When Nona and I were together last Wednesday, President Duterte was the guest speaker of that dinner. And yesterday, he celebrated his first year as president. He has shown awesome leadership and resolve in the many programs that he set out to do during his presidency. In the first year that he just completed yesterday, he instituted bold reforms against illegal drugs and corruption. And speaking as an economist, I'd like to add that his Build, Build, Build initiative is commendable and is a step in the right direction towards sustaining our robust economic growth. You know, our economic growth today is one of the best in the world. So the Build, Build, Build will sustain that. But beyond his accomplishments of the technical work as president, one thing that the president has done is to inspire and unite the Filipino people towards his goal of effecting real change in the country, pagbabago. So let's all wish him the best as he begins his second year and the best of health for the rest of his term as he fulfills his mandate for the nation and for the people. As he begins his second year, Inner Wheel also begins a new term with Baby Goles now at the helm. So in like manner, let us all wish Baby success, and I wish all of you success for the Inner Wheel as you can continue to build your lasting legacy of selflessness in friendship and service to humanity. So once again, my comadres, my friends, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to the incoming officers. Good luck and mabuhay. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.